Hello there. I'm very happy to see you again today. I hope you're doing well. Sasha and I are excited to decorate, sing, and share a story with you. Now, some of you have asked what my name is. Well, it's Nicola, and I was named after St. Nicholas. Well, Sasha, here we go. We'll see if Sasha wants to stay with us today. Sometimes she likes to sleep in bed instead of in her tower. Well, are you ready to see what the fourth ornament is in our Advent calendar? Let's find out. Oh, it's this beautiful, shimmering shoe. And you know, this reminds me of Cinderella's glass slipper. Where should we hang it? Let's see, how about here? That looks nice. Well, this shoe makes me think of a special holiday, one of my own favorites, that happens on December 6th. That's only 2 days away. Well, in some parts of the world, December 6th is the time when St. Nicholas brings his gifts. On the night of December 5th, children leave a pair of shoes out for St. Nicholas. He comes during the night, and on December 6th, children wake up to find little gifts inside their shoes. He often leaves an orange and some chocolates, and those chocolates might be wrapped in gold foil to look like coins. Now you might wonder why the chocolate would look like a coin. Well, it's because of the first gifts that St. Nicholas gave. St. Nicholas was a very kind and generous person. He lived many, many years ago in a town that is now called Demre in Turkey. Nicholas was the bishop of Myra. That's a church position, the bishop is. Well, he was born into a very wealthy family, and it is said that he used all of his money to help people in need. One story tells about how St. Nicholas helped a poor man who needed money for his children. Nicholas wanted to give the family some money, but he didn't want them to know where the money came from. So when everyone in the house was asleep, he tossed the money inside through an open window. And guess where it landed? It landed either in a stocking or a pair of shoes that were drying near the fire. Now imagine the surprise and happiness of the family when they found that unexpected gift of money that they needed. Well, Nicholas kept giving gifts this way in secret, but eventually people began to suspect who the mysterious gift giver was. And that is why we now ask him for gifts and why we leave out stockings or shoes. Now, most people in Turkey don't celebrate Christmas on December 25th, but they do celebrate St. Nicholas and his kind gifts. They wish someone a happy Nicholas Day. And in Turkish, you say, Mutlu Noeller. Can you try that with me? Mutlu Noeller. And it's Mutlu, Mutlu, Noeller. Noeller. Like the word Noel that you probably know. Noeller. Mutlu Noeller. Mutlu Noeller. Very nice. Well, today we're going to learn a new song that's all about decorating for the holidays. It's called Deck the Halls. And if you already know it, why don't you sing it with me? It goes like this. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Well, why don't we learn the first part together today? The words are, deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. And now you might already know this, but in this song, the word deck means to decorate. And this is what holly looks like. Now, you've probably seen a holly bush before. It has very pokey green leaves and bright red berries. Did you know that holly can grow to be as large as a tree? And a bough is like a tree limb. So, deck the halls with boughs of holly is talking about decorating your house with holly. So, again, the words of the first part are, deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la la. Why don't we sing that together? We'll sing it 2 times, okay? Ready? Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Another time. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Very nice. And tomorrow we will learn the second part of the song, okay? But for now, it's time for our story of the day. And this one is from the Children's Book of Christmas Stories. I really, really like this story, and I hope you do too. It's called Toinette and the Elves, and it was written by Susan Coolidge. The winter's sun was nearing the horizon's edge. Each moment, the tree shadows grew longer in the forest. Each moment, the crimson light on the upper boughs became more red and bright. It was Christmas Eve, or would be in half an hour, when the sun should be fairly set. But it did not feel like Christmas, for the afternoon was mild and sweet, and the wind in the leafless boughs sang as it moved about, as though to imitate the vanished birds. Soft trills and whistles, odd little shakes and twitters. It was astounding what pretty noises the wind made, for it was in a good humor, as winds should be on the blessed night. All its storm tones and bass notes were for the moment laid aside, and gently, as though hushing a baby to sleep, it cooed and rustled and brushed to and fro in the leafless woods. Toinette stood, pitcher in hand, beside the well. Wishing Well, the people called it, for they believed that if anyone standing there bowed to the east, repeated a certain rhyme, and wished a wish, the wish would certainly come true. Unluckily, nobody knew exactly what the rhyme should be. Toinette did not. She was wishing that she did, as she stood with her eyes fixed on the bubbling water. How nice it would be, she thought. What beautiful things should be hers, if only it were to wish and to have. She would be beautiful, rich, and good. Oh, so good. The children should love her dearly and never be disagreeable. Mother should not work so hard. They should all go back to France, which Mother said was si belle. Oh dear, how nice it would be. Meantime, the sun sank lower, and Mother at home was waiting for the water. But Toinette forgot. Suddenly she started. A low sound of crying met her ear, and something like a tiny moan. It seemed close by, but she saw nothing. Hastily she filled her pitcher and turned to go. But again the sound came, an unmistakable sob right under her feet. Toinette stopped short. "What is the matter?" she called out bravely. "Is anybody there? And if there is, why don't I see you?" A third sob, and all at once down on the ground beside her, a tiny figure became visible, so small that Toinette had to kneel and stoop her head to see it plainly. The figure was that of an odd little man. He wore a garb of green, bright and glancing as the scales of a beetle. In his mite of a hand was a cap, out of which stuck a long pointed feather. 2 specks of tears stood on his cheeks, and he fixed on Toinette a glance so sharp and so sad that it made her feel sorry and frightened and confused all at once. "Why, how funny this is," she said, speaking to herself out loud. "Not at all," replied the little man in a voice as dry and crisp as the chirr of a grasshopper. "Anything but funny. I wish you wouldn't use such words. It hurts my feelings, Toinette." "Do you know my name, then?" cried Toinette, astonished. "That's strange. But what is the matter? Why are you crying so, little man?" "I'm not a man. I'm an elf," responded the dry voice. "And I think you'd cry if you had an engagement out to tea and found yourself spiked on a great bayonet so that you couldn't move an inch. Look." He turned a little as he spoke, and Toinette saw a long rose thorn sticking through the back of the green robe. The little man could by no means reach the thorn, and it held him fast, prisoner to the place. "Oh, is that all? I'll take it out for you," she said. Be careful, be careful," entreated the little man. "This is my new dress, you know, my Christmas suit, and it's got to last a year. If there's a hole in it, Peace God will tickle me and Bean Blossom tease till I shall wish myself dead." He stamped with vexation at the thought. "Now, you mustn't do that," said Toinette in a motherly tone, "else you'll tear it yourself, you know." She broke off the thorn as she spoke and gently drew it out. The elf anxiously examined the stuff. A tiny puncture only was visible, and his face brightened. "You're a good child," he said. "I'll do as much for you some day, perhaps." "I would have come before if I had seen you," remarked Toinette timidly, "but I didn't see you a bit." "No, because I had my cap on," cried the elf. He placed it on his head as he spoke, and, hey, presto, nobody was there, only a voice, which laughed and said, "Well, don't stare so. Lay your finger on me now." "Oh," said Toinette with a gasp, "how wonderful! What fun it must be to do that. The children wouldn't see me. I should steal in and surprise them. They would go on talking and never guess that I was there. I should so like it. Do elves ever lend their caps to anybody? I wish you'd lend me yours. It must be so nice to be invisible." "Oh," cried the elf, appearing suddenly again, "lend my cap indeed. Why, it wouldn't stay on the very tip of your ear, it's so small." "As for nice, that depends. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. No, the only way for mortal people to be invisible is to gather the fern seed and put it in their shoes." "Gather it? Where? I never saw any seed to the ferns," said Toinette, staring about her. "Of course not. We elves take care of that," replied the little man. "Nobody finds the fern seed but ourselves. I'll tell you what, though. You were such a nice child to take out the thorn so cleverly that I'll give you a little bit of the seed. Then you can try the fun of being invisible to your heart's content." "Will you really? How delightful! May I have it now?" "Oh, bless me, do you think I carry my pockets stuffed with it?" said the elf. "Not at all. Go home, say not a word to anyone, but leave your bedroom window open tonight, and you'll see what you'll see." He laid his finger on his nose as he spoke, gave a jump like a grasshopper, clapping on his cap as he went, and vanished. Toinette lingered a moment in hopes that he might come back, then took her pitcher and hurried home. The woods were very dusky by this time, but full of her strange adventures, she did not remember to feel afraid. "How long you have been," said her mother. "It's late for a little maid like you to be up. You must make better speed another time, my child." Toinette pouted, as she was apt to do when reproved. The children clamored to know what had kept her, but she spoke pettishly and crossly, so that they too became cross, and presently went away into the outer kitchen to play by themselves. The children were apt to creep away when Toinette came. It made her angry and unhappy at times that they should do so, but she did not realize that it was in great part her own fault, and so did not set herself to mend it. "Tell me a story," said baby Janton, creeping to her knee a little later. But Toinette's head was full of the elf. She had no time to spare for Janton. "Oh, not tonight," she replied. "Ask Mother to tell you one." "Mother's busy," said Janton wistfully. Toinette took no notice, and the little one crept away disconsolately. Bedtime at last. Toinette set the casement open and lay a long time waiting and watching. Then she fell asleep. She waked with a sneeze and a jump and sat up in bed. Behold, on the coverlet stood her elfin friend, with a long train of other elves beside him, all clad in the beetle-wing green and wearing little pointed caps. More were coming in at the window. Outside, a few were drifting about in the moon rays, which lit their sparkling robes till they glittered like so many fireflies. The odd thing was that though the caps were on, Toinette could see the elves distinctly, and this surprised her so much that again she thought out loud and said, "How funny!" "You mean about the caps," replied her special elf, who seemed to have the power of reading thought. "Yes, you can see us tonight, caps and all. Spells lose their value on Christmas Eve, always. Peascod, where's the box? Do you still wish to try the experiment of being invisible, Toinette?" "Oh, yes, I do indeed." "Very well, so let it be." Well, I'm afraid we're going to have to continue our story tomorrow. What do you think will happen? Do you think Toinette will like being invisible? We'll find out later. Why don't we end our time today with another carol? This one is called The First Noel, and if you know it, why don't you sing with me? The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. It was very nice to see you again today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.